Well, today I wanted to show you my waste vegetable oil filtering and dewatering system. It's right here in the corner of my garage near the outside edge, where I can easily pump straight into the vehicle when everything's been processed. I've got a two-tank system. The tank on the left is my settling tank, which is heated, hence the insulation around it. And the right drum is my holding tank, which is fuel ready to go into the vehicle. It also allows me to run a batch while I still have fuel in the right one. You'll notice it's sitting up on this stand, which is nice for some storage under it and stuff, but the real reason behind it is my settling tank on the left is a little bit unique in the fact that on the bottom of it I've adapted a steel cone. I've cut through that platform and cut through the bottom of the drum. And that really aids in allowing any of the water and sludge to come down to that fine point on the bottom there, and allowing me to purge it off a lot easier and clean it out when the time comes, and really keep the ugly stuff away from the clean stuff. I've also got a extra spigot right there where I can take test samples of the oil after I heat it up to make sure there's no water, using a hot pan or crackle test. Each one has a sight tube in it. This one's maybe just over a quarter full, and my holding tank is about right here. It's about half full. I just processed a batch and sent over about half of it, so I'm going to show you a little bit how it works. I do use one clear water pump for dual purposes, and I'll show you how that works as well. But basically, once I do get my oil from the restaurant, I have a 55-gallon drum there that I will pump out every couple weeks. I'll put them in these 4.4 gallon cubies. It has a screen on the pump, so it comes somewhat clean when I get here. And then I've got a 200 and a 100 micron screen mesh here that I set on top, and you can stack them. And if I don't have time to let the cubes sit for any period of time, I can go ahead and pour it right into there. It screens it all out. And once I'm done, I can then just use hot water, some mild biodegradable soap, and clean these off. I've used these many times and they're still like new. Again, being able to reuse is nice. A lot of people will just use time and gravity to settle oil, which is great, but I just don't have the time and patience to have cubies sitting all around the garage and letting them settle all over the place. So I basically use heat to speed things up, which you can basically process a batch within a day. I use a brisk heater, band heater right here with the insulation. It makes it a lot more efficient. It has a thermostat control on it. Once I let the oil cool, I let it cool down to about 80 degrees, and that's the temperature at which it's safe to pass it through the filters I've got. You can see the reflection in the oil there. This is really clean oil, but I do a final filtering here. I do use a series of, and also going back, when I do heat it up, I do put the lid on it, but keep it cracked open. Allows a lot of the heat to stay inside, but keeps the condensation and water from dripping back in. I use house filters, a series of house filters, to filter a 20, a 5, and a 1 micron from left to right. Some people don't like using this, probably for the fact that these are not absolute filters. They're nominal filters, meaning the first pass that goes through the filters is not 99% clean. It's only about 80%. But since I do go through a 5 and then a 1, I do know that the product coming out is about 99% down to 5 micron, and 80% of that is down to 1. But basically, once it's down to that 80 degrees or so, if it's hotter than that, it'll mess up the filters. I'll open these two valves here from the settling tank to the holding tank. I've wired a little switch in the clear water pump. I'll go ahead and turn that on. It's flowing from the pump through the filters. I've got a back pressure gauge right there that tells me what's going on with the pressures, if the filters are getting clogged up or anything like that, besides seeing the flow slow down. And then it goes through the tube there, up through the filter, and then pouring oil into my tank. That's clean oil, I mean almost down to 1 micron. Once I fill up that tank, I can shut down the 2 valves, and then when I'm ready to put it into the car, I open the tube that leads out to our 03 Ford Excursion with the 7.3 engine, and it goes into a 40-gallon auxiliary tank that's mounted underneath. I'll go ahead and turn on the pump. It takes a second pass through all the filters. By doing that second pass, it really gets everything down to 99%, down to 1 micron. And then I can just go ahead and open it up here, and I'm flowing oil into the car. Not having to use jugs and cubies and funnels and things like that. It's really a no mess type setup. I didn't want to go to the expense of centrifuging and all that. I found that this is a very efficient system and setup for me personally, and that the oil coming out is really clean. A lot of this stuff has been recycled. I mean, the stand is from waste at a construction site. It's a reinforced stand. I mean, that's got to hold about 700 pounds. The drums I found on Craigslist for about $15 a piece. A lot of other parts and pieces found at local hardware stores and online. And basically put this design together from seeing several others out there, and hopefully you guys can take something away from it, or I hope you've enjoyed watching this, and good luck to you.